This is, I'm back in Stanton Prior in Somerset, just south of Bath, and I'm adding on to the charter of Corston, the boundary of which goes up the other side of that hill, which is Stanton Hill and Stanton Camp. Stanton Prior also has a charter, which includes this hill over here, which is Wansdyke. Both Wansdyke and Stanton have the same bury ending in the Old English, burg or burge or burg, something like that. We don't know how the G was pronounced. Probably bury, something like that, because it becomes bury later on. But they both have the bury ending, so even though there is no hill fort, certainly not one that I can make out, but it does look like it's been flattened on top. And there's plenty of terracing going on as well. Both their names mean camp, fortification, yet there's always this ambiguity with big hill and barrow. It's a very pretty day today. The sun's out, it's not too cold, it's very early January. England likes to be very dreary, wet and muddy. I have to say, the amount of rain we've had, a lot of the fields around here are flooded. The rivers are flooding the meadows. But I don't mind as long as it's sunny and I've got my wellies on. So we're heading down the road that's signposted to Wilmington, and Wilmington is in the charter of Stanton as Wel Mair Duna. A lot of these farmhouses are 16th, 17th, 18th century, well, going on, but they've kept to up to the 19th century and even up till today. But they've been very sensitive in keeping it to the style, the vernacular style to which it's supposed to belong. So this village is very unsullied. So we're leaving the village now and we're heading, I think it's described on one of the maps as Binkers Lane. Incidentally, in the charter, Wansdyke is called Winkersbury, and I wonder whether it's a corruption of that, but I don't know how far to go down it. There's a possibility of meeting, well, it does meet the Wansdyke, the Dark Ages fortification, but it's only a dotted line on the maps. There's very probably nothing to see. I do meet the Wansdyke later on where there might be a bit more to see, so I might do that. Yeah, I will do that. So the Corston, it's the river. We talked about that 2 videos ago. I didn't know, well, according to the map doesn't describe it as having gone up to Stanton Prior. It describes something else. There's no little blue line, but in reality it is. You can see it quite clearly. It's straight as an arrow, which suggests artificiality, but then this is a ploughed landscape, you know, over sort of 3,000 years of ploughing, they're going to straighten that out, and they have. So you can get an extra furrow. Furrow in the old English. Still sounds like furrow today. This is called laying hedging, and what you're doing is turning a few spindly little bushes and turning them into an impenetrable hedge. The sort of thing you can keep livestock behind and trust that they're not going to get out. This is ecological, it grows itself, it needs maintenance, so it tends to be labour heavy, which is why farmers today, you can't blame them. They want to make a profit, but they'd rather put barbed wire everywhere than have to pay days and days of labour for men and women to go around laying hedges. They're done with a set of tools, the most interesting of which is the Billhook, and you don't pronounce the H. The Billhook, revolutions were won with that weapon. Well, actually, revolutions were lost with that weapon. Revolutions were attempted with that weapon all through the Middle Ages and the post and the early modern period. I bought one to lay hedges, to cut down branches in my hedges, in my garden. No, that's a lie. I bought it because I'm so old-fashioned that I would rather have one of those than an electric saw. But anyway, you would also use axes and saws, and what you do is you cut you lay your young hawthorn, or as there is here, the blackthorn, the sloe. You plant them about, and then 2 years, 3 years later, you cut the stem halfway through. And there's different styles, but it looks like the style they've got over here is to lay or twist what's left. You only need a certain amount. What you need is a bit of the rind of the stalk, and that will keep the plant alive. So when you lay it down, and then the next one you lay down, and then the next one you lay down, and it creates a hedge that a sheep can't get through. Over the years, it will carry on growing. It doesn't die. And then lots more shoots will go upwards the next couple of years, and then you cut them back. And then it turns into the sort of fence, the sort of hedge that is very useful on a farm. But it's nice to see this. You normally only find them, because they're so labour intensive, you normally only find this on things like the Wildlife Trust. You know well my opinion of sort of fake economies in the landscape. This is, a lot of the fields around here are Duchy of Cornwall lands, and that is royal farms. So they may be prepared to spend extra to have beautiful and ecological hedges, and not scared. Of course, the royals have a little bit of money. They're not scared to spend a bit of money on labour. Plus, it's good for people to have landscape-based jobs. All right, it's going to be heavy labour, but can you imagine the satisfaction of doing that yourself? So, a couple of years' time, this will look absolutely beautiful and useful.